Hey folks, Jason Ballas with OutdoorProductReview.com. We're continuing on with a 2011 bow review, and today the bow I have for you is the new Shockey series from Alpine Archery. This is the Yukon. This is the signature series bow from Shockey. Definitely, if you guys watch the Outdoor Channel, he has some pretty comedic type hunting show out there with his father sometimes, but most of the other times he's out there hunting big game animals across the world. He's hunted everywhere, and you know, somebody like that who's had the experience to hunt all over the world and hunt numerous animals from elephants all the way down to probably prairie dogs, he definitely has the experience out there, and Alpine picked him up as one of their spokesmen, if you will. And Shockey signature series bow right here, it has a pretty long axle to axle. It's 35 inches, and the one thing I like about a longer axle to axle bow is it's more forgiving. You know, you get a longer brace height on here. I think this one's 7 3/4 inches, and that's pretty long. The only thing that you're going to lose with that is speed. The IBO on this bow is about 320 feet per second. However, like I've said in the past, you know, if a bow is shootable, it doesn't have to be one of these speed demon bows that are out there. It's all a matter of how the bow shoots. It does weigh a little bit. It's about 4.3 pounds, a little heavier than some of the, you know, that magical 4-pound number out there. But what's 0.3 pounds really? You know, it's got a great looking design on it. It's a full black riser. You know, they got numerous cutouts throughout it. They actually even have a little arrow shelf pad here that's sort of sound absorbent. It's a nice little fleece, micro fleece. We're using our normal rest that we have set up here. Okay, so they have the machined STS system here with a carbon rod that comes out with a sort of a string catching system here that's concave, that accepts your string. That's something that's pretty neat. It's actually adjustable here, so you could set it for whatever length you want it. That's sort of nifty. I like the idea of that. The only thing that would concern me would be, it's, you know, the hollow machined aluminum has possibility of making a little bit of sound, but you know, that could be taken in by putting some, you know, depending. We haven't even shot this bow yet. I haven't even drawn it. We'll see how it sounds. One thing about sound though, they have this VX pocket limb system here, sort of a pocket, and it holds your limbs in there, and you have to take these 2 screws on the side and sort of loosen them before you can do your poundage up here, which is actually an offset poundage from being normally in the front. And then once you get your poundage set, you lock those back in, and it pulls the limbs together, and it holds them in that nylon pocket to where they don't move, and there's no sound made from them, because a lot of times the sound comes from right where the limbs meet the riser. So that's pretty neat on there, and we're gonna try it out. Like I said, it's got a 35-inch axle to axle, little long. I think it'll be a smooth shooter with that longer axle to axle length and a little higher brace height. You know, one thing I want to tell you about is they have a Yoke System on their cables. This is their 3rd generation cam here that they have out, and what happens is the cable's right on both sides of the cam, so that you don't have any cam lean or anything when you're at full draw. So no matter where, your cables just sort of align with you, but they don't move on the cam. So that's something that's pretty nice, because you know, you're not going to torque your cam, you're not going to torque the bow or anything along those lines. Set up with this nice rosewood grip. You know, I've seen some rose bushes, but I haven't seen them that thick. But I'll tell you, it's very nice and smooth. It's beautiful looking wood. If you ever want to, too bad they didn't make them size of trees. You can make tables out of it, because it's a gorgeous looking wood. And you know, pretty much overall, the bow, like I said, 4.3 pounds, a little heavier than some of the bows, but I'm sure once you come to full draw, it sort of all sinks in. Their target bow is like 4.5 or 4.6 pounds. They got a longer brace height as well, and you know, those are meant for target shooting, so it sort of balances itself out. So why don't we go ahead and do the draw test. Like I said, we're using a VAP arrow, that 408 grain Victory Armor piercing arrow from Victory Archery, and by far the best. You know, Sitka is involved with us. We have Campbell Outdoor Cameras as our sponsor. True Fire Releases. It's just a great products that we use, and we like to pick the best of the best. So that's what we're using. Let's go ahead and do that draw test and see how this bow draws. All right, like I said, folks, we have it set up with that VAP, just our normal little rest here that we use. Go ahead and draw the bow, see how the bow draws, and then we'll shoot it, and you guys will see the zoom in on the hand. Well, it comes back smooth as butter, right to 29 inches. Very smooth, no noise. Let's creep forward just a hair. Well, you could creep quite a bit. I mean, it doesn't want to take off out of your hands. It's nice. Nice smooth draw. Grip feels good in your hand. When I torque it, the bow moves just a little bit, not much. The cams are in line with that, with the yoke system. You can actually see the yokes pulled off to the side, but the cams are still straight in a line. Let's go ahead and shoot it. I'm going to keep my finger and just touch it right here. You see that, guys? Bow just sort of dropped straight down, really didn't even move. There was zero sound, period, out of the bow. It didn't make any kind of noise whatsoever. No noise, no hand shock, because the bow didn't do anything. Just dropped straight in my hand. Dropped straight down in my hand. It was nice. Arrow seemed like it went down there nice and fast. That was pretty sweet. I'll tell you one thing, let's go ahead and we're going to shoot it through the chronograph, but first let's watch that shot in slow motion, and you guys could see in my hand how the bow doesn't go anywhere, just sort of just drops, and no noise. That's awesome. Let's go ahead and do that, shoot it through the chronograph. All right, folks, we got that Yukon with that 408 grain VAP. We're going to shoot through the chronograph here. Comes right back, beautiful. 298 feet per second. All right, folks, there you saw it, 298 feet per second. A lot faster than I thought it was going to be. Almost 300 feet per second. You know, that's like my magic number is 300 feet, and I'm sure if you lightened your arrow up just a hair, you'd hit that no problem. No sound whatsoever, which was really shocking. With this aluminum, machined aluminum STS system, I thought you might hear a little hollow sound, but there's nothing at all. The bow was smooth. It draws like butter. Set at 70 pounds, just like all our bows. 29 inches. Definitely really nothing you could say bad. The only thing I say is just a hair heavy, but then again, like I said, when you have a heavier bow and you come back to full draw, you're sort of set perfect. It's just like a target bow. Longer axle to axle, more forgiving. Definitely nice. I like the way that shot. No noise, no hand shock whatsoever, and that's what it's all about when you're out there. You know, elk season's here shortly upon us, and that's one thing we really worry about is the sound of the bow. You know, you think, oh, well, the arrow's already there, but I'll tell you what, Chuck Adams once told me at a show, he said, your bow has to be shooting like 700 and some feet per second before an animal wouldn't hear it or hear your bow. So I'll tell you what, a heavier bow absorbs a little bit more sound. This one with their new limb pockets is definitely beautiful, no sound whatsoever. Great overall bow. The Alpine Yukon Jim Shockey series, definitely a great bow. I'm going to have to give the overall score about a 9.8, 9.9, a little bit heavy, but other than that, if we could get away from the weight a little bit, I think that, you know, this bow would be a full 10, no hand shock, almost 300 feet per second, right at, you know, 408 grain arrow. That's a pretty heavy arrow. I know when we hunted whitetails, it was like 365 grains. You didn't need that much punch. We use a little heavy arrow to go through elk. But definitely great bow from Alpine. I'm very impressed with the Yukon here. I'll tell you, Jim Shockey series, he should be proud to have his name on this bow. So 9.9 we'll say for OutdoorProductReview.com, and for Outdoor Product Review, I am Jason Ballas. We're going to see you on our next review. We're almost done with our 2011 reviews. We're waiting on 2 more companies to send us their bows, and hopefully we'll have them to you guys before hunting season starts. So stick with us and look back. Like I said, once again, I'm Jason Ballas. We're going to see you guys soon.